How's it going, guys? My name is Zach with the Movie Castle, and today we're going to be continuing my Sharks of Summer series. And today we're going to be doing kind of an overview of a bunch of movies that I've covered. We're going to be talking about the Meg-A-Shark collection. Now, this is a collection of 8 shark movies put out by Echo Bridge. I picked this up, I believe it was last year, at the Dollar Tree for only $1.25, and I think that's where a lot of you guys found it as well. Great to pick up so many movies for such a cheap price, but during last year's Sharks of Summer, I watched, I believe, 5 of them, and then this year's Sharks of Summer, I finished off the last 3, so I've watched every single movie on this multi-pack, and I figured I should give you an overview of what the set is like as a whole. And if you do want to see my full thoughts on any of these movies, at the end of the video a playlist should pop up. I made a whole playlist just for the movies in here, and we can take a look at each of those movies if you go into that playlist. But anyway, this set itself, this set, obviously 8 movies on 2 discs. It's a little bit crammed, but that being said, the resolution's okay. I don't know, I'm not a huge resolution nerd. My TV isn't huge, and I thought it was fine. Now, that being said, 4 movies on a disc. I know they're not going to look as good as, like, single-release Blu-rays, but from my perspective, they looked A-okay. No subtitles, I don't think, so no bonus features. You put it in, and it quickly just goes to a menu listing the 4 movies, and you pick one. So yeah, bare bones release, but it looks fine from what I gather. If you want super high quality, yeah, it's probably not that, but considering they crammed so many on there, I was pleasantly surprised that they looked as good as they did, and yeah, they're fine. And I think the same kind of goes for the quality of the movies. These aren't bottom-of-the-barrel shark movies, and if you think they are, let me tell you, there are much worse shark movies. But these shark movies are, in general, okay shark movies. They're not the best thing ever. They're a little bit out of the low tier, kind of into the bottom of the mid-tier. Some of them are forgettable, but they're all at least okay. And there's nothing horrible in here, nothing egregious in here. They're all fine. And the biggest one in this set, obviously you get Shark Attack. Shark Attack from 1999, I believe, with Casper Van Dien. That's your biggest and best movie in here. It's actually pretty good, and you do get both of its sequels. But also, you get the movies that kind of tie into it. You see there's this guy, Danny Lerner, that produced Shark Attack 2 and 3. And then he also directed 2 other shark movies, Shark Zone and Sharks in Venice. And both of those movies really do kind of feel like the Shark Attack sequel, so they kind of fit into this big blob here. So after that, we do have the 3 other movies that kind of are unrelated to those 5. Toxic Shark, Malibu Shark Attack, and Sharkman with Jeffrey Combs. And like I said earlier, they're all fine. Not the best thing ever. Shark Attack is clearly the best one. But like I said, they're all fine. How about for a minute we switch up to the close-up camera? I'll show you a little bit of this movie's physical release. We can look at the product. So let's switch to the close-up camera. Alright, here we are inside the castle taking a closer look at the Meg-A-Shark 8 movie collection. And I guess first and foremost, let's bring it towards the camera and take a close look at this cover here. A really fun cover, and I think we all know what it's referencing. Get to that in a second. But we see this little swimmer up here at the top, and then a big shark is about to eat this person. However, giant jaws of an even bigger shark is going to eat that shark. overall a really cool cover, but if it does look familiar, let me get out my copy of the Meg. Now, right now, I have this Pippin slip cover on it. I don't know, it's just a fun gag slip cover that I couldn't resist, but underneath that is the cover that a lot more people know, and once again, diver, big shark, even bigger shark. So it's the same concept, but the composition is a little different, where in the Meg-A-Shark collection, it focuses much more on those bigger jaws, and in turn, everything's kind of scooted up, whereas the Meg, it's a lot lower down and a much more simpler and cleaner design there. Now, that being said, I actually did quite recently pick up the book version of the Meg. Maybe that will be in next year's Sharks of Summer, I don't know. But I did pick up the book version, and I actually flipped through it. And one thing that surprised me is this classic cover image actually comes from the book. There's a slideshow someone's giving, and in the slideshow they say that they see this image of guy shark and bigger shark. So yeah, it actually surprised me that this iconic cover is actually taken directly from the book the Meg is based on, so that's pretty cool as well. Anyway, also that lime green is a little bit darker here, but still that blue-green concept. The spine, 8 movies, there's the shark, but the bigger shark doesn't quite fit on here. Meg-A-Shark collection, and there's the Echo Bridge logo. Flip it to the back, and we see the logo is submerged, and we get the 8 movies. For whatever reason, Shark Attack's the big one of the set. You'd think they'd list it first, but it's on this side. I don't know why. You get the movie, the description, some technical aspects, you know, what does that say? 96 minutes, color, widescreen, rated R and Y, and then the credits. And the credits, like, okay, I can read the title, I can read the description. This lime green on dark blue isn't always the easiest to read, but then you get to the credits, and boy, those are small. I have to really look and take a minute to see what's there. But anyway, the Shark Attack trilogy is primarily on this one disc, and this disc, they have released it on Blu-ray with Shark Zone as well. But that being said, I think, and I can't confirm because I don't actually have it, I think it's one disc as well. However, Blu-ray definitely has a ton more space on it. But again, I'm not a quality nerd and I can't speak for the quality of the movies. I will say on my TV that's a little bit small by today's standards, they all looked fine. No subtitles, but they looked fine, you know, and it wasn't really distractingly bad or anything. But anyway, Shark Zone, and I feel that this is a set. Shark Attack 2 and 3, and these I believe were produced by Danny Lerner. They're both directed by David Worth, but then Danny Lerner would direct these two, and these two almost feel like a remake of each other. So Shark Zone, and that I've been pointing at Toxic Shark the whole time. I mean Sharks in Venice, sorry about that. And then Sharks in Venice is also directed by Danny Lerner, and kind of does feel like a remake of Shark Zone, just a recycled sharks guarding a treasure plot with gangsters. But anyway, Shark in Venice, which I think also has the title of Sharks Plural in Venice, Toxic Shark, Malibu Shark Attack, which I think sometimes goes under the alternate title of Goblin Shark. And then we get Sharkman with Jeffrey Combs, which I think sometimes goes under the alternate title of Hammerhead. And if we crack this open, we get to see the 2 discs are here. I don't know if it's this way on everybody's, but on mine, they put the clips on the wrong side. The clips really should be over here. And we get to see the disc with Shark Attack 1 through 3 and Shark Zone on it. And then over here, we get the disc Toxic Shark, Shark in Venice, Malibu Shark Attack, and Sharkman. and you can see that they both have the same disc art. Sometimes with these Echo Bridge releases, we get different disc art because sometimes they'll pair up a disc with another disc that wasn't initially printed to be in the same pack, but it appears that these two were printed in order to be together. So we get the nice cover image repeated here. And I do want to, before I jump back and do full reviews of these movies, I do have two of them on other releases, so I want to show you guys really quick. The first is another Echo Bridge release, and that is a single disc collection of Toxic Shark with a bonus disc that includes Beneath the Mississippi and Croczilla. So there's the individual release cover for Toxic Shark. We can see he's really big and there's a little boat, and there's his special horn that he shoots goo out of, and there's the fitness dating island behind him. Echo Bridge did a whole bunch of these, includes 2 bonus movie sets, and I have quite a few of them up there. I actually did a whole Dollar Tree haul where I just did Echo Bridge 2 bonus movies. And yeah, so both of these I actually got from the Dollar Tree. There's the back, and you can see a little bit of the Toxic Shark movie right there, and the bonus movies. And if we crack this open, we get to see the single disc version of Toxic Shark with the cover art, and we also get Beneath the Mississippi and Croczilla on that disc, and the clips are once again on the wrong side, so I guess that's just something Echo Bridge does. But anyway, there's my solo release of that. And then I also have this solo release of Malibu Shark Attack, and it's from the Maneater series, and this is the one in the Maneater series with a different color. You know, I like to have consistencies on my shelf, but you see a normal Maneater disc looks like this with a lighter background, and this is the one movie that they released in this darker background. And why is this one movie released in a darker background? I don't know, they just did, so this is always going to be the one that's gonna look a little different on the shelf. But yeah, there's the flooded lifeguard stand, a bunch of sharks, and this one girl trying to get away. Flip it to the back, we can see a few shots from the movie again, and if we crack it open, there's the solo copy of Malibu Shark Attack. Now, I bought this from a used movie store, so this is not the original case, but you can see I've got this alternate case that they've stuck it in that does have a place for a second disc, but don't know what I would put in there. Anyway, so that's the 2 single releases that I have from this set, but we're primarily talking about this set. So after this, let's go back to the castle, and I'll do quick mini reviews of each movie in this set. So if you want to see me talk more about all the specific little movies, let's go back to the wide shot. Anyway, back to the wide shot. Alright, we're back outside of the castle, and I'm just gonna go ahead and do quick mini reviews for each one of the movies here. If you want my full big explored thoughts, like I said, at the end of the video, you'll find the playlist and you can listen to the longer versions on here. But really quick mini reviews for each movie. First off, starting talking about Shark Attack with Casper Van Dien. This movie came out around the time as Deep Blue Sea and was, you know, kind of cashing in on the creature feature mini boom that was going on there. And overall, it's a fun movie. It's got Casper Van Dien investigating the murder of his friend, and sharks in the area are going crazy. And this one also has a human villain plot. Why are the humans making the sharks go crazy? And to be fair, you can kind of guess who the bad guys are, but it's really more of a question of what are they up to. So a murder investigation with actually a ton of action in it as well. Overall, a pretty cool shark movie. Why are the sharks going crazy? Best, most classic one on the pack. After that, Shark Attack 2 and 3 are more on the forgettable side, but they're okay. Shark Attack 2, you get this guy who works at a theme park, Water World. Yeah, like the movie, I guess. But he captures a shark who then kills someone and breaks out, and he has to go and wrangle it and get it back. It's just... yeah, the sharks here are supposed to be like descendants of the first one, but Shark Attack 2 and 3 are for the most part unrelated to Shark Attack 1. And then we get Shark Attack 3, Megalodon, and it's about this guy. He's kind of like on the beach patrol, and his boss puts out like a deep sea communication cable that somehow cracks open the ocean, and Megalodon swims out, and he finds like a big tooth, and that gets like a researcher down there, and they have to take on the giant shark. And towards the end of this movie, you know, they do a whole thing where you have to fight like a baby Megalodon before you get to the real one. When you get to the end, big cheesy fun. Like I said, 2 and 3 aren't as good as the first one, but 3 is definitely on the cheesier, so bad it's good side, and in turn is probably the better one. Just more dumb fun, and also features one of the strangest pickup lines in movie history. I'll let you see that when you get to it. After that, going on to Shark Zone. Shark Zone, a lot of people consider it the unofficial Shark Attack 4. There's this guy, and him and his father are swimming out with a group of tourists to look at a shark wreck, and they find a hidden treasure there. However, sharks eat everybody but your main guy. So he's sad about the death of his father, but some mobsters show up and insist that he show them where the treasure is because they want the treasure. And he doesn't want to show them. So yeah, it's literally the shark zone, the zone where the sharks are. Overall, fine, but like I said, more on the forgettable side. Going by order that I see them on the back here. After that, Toxic Shark. Toxic Shark, you get this fitness singles island retreat, and there's a shark nearby, but it has this big horn on its head which spits out toxic goo, and if you get hit by the toxic goo, you start to go crazy, and that adds in a whole nother element to it. On top of that, this guy accidentally runs into his ex there, and they start fighting the whole time. Overall, kinda cheesy fun. Nothing super special, but interesting enough. It's just one of those things where you have elements that I wish were pushed further. Like, what eventually happens to all the crazy people is relatively interesting, but they don't get there till the very end, and I really wish this happened sooner. Overall, an okay shark movie. I love an original shark with a special superpower, but it really could have been pushed farther. And yeah, again, just on the forgettable side. After that, Sharks in Venice. This is another one directed by Danny Lerner, the same guy who did Shark Zone and produced Shark Attack 2 and 3, so this is kind of in that camp of movies. And Sharks in Venice, to be honest, a lot of the plot is a retread of Shark Zone. In Sharks in Venice, once again, there's a treasure. You get the main guy, Stephen Baldwin, and his father found a treasure underneath Venice, because Venice has all these like sunken tunnels. He found a treasure there, and then he disappeared, and Stephen Baldwin comes in to find his missing father, and maybe the treasure too, because only he knows where his father would have hidden the clues, you know? So he goes there, tries to uncover the treasure, and of course gangsters, just like in Shark Zone, want him to lead him to the treasure. However, with this one, you get a bunch more of, like, National Treasure-esque intro. Well, it's not, no, it's not near as good as National Treasure. Forget I said that. But you get a bit more of intrigue. You get a bit more of who's on whose side, running around Venice, which is a cool set. But overall, not the best thing ever, and the plot just retreads Shark Zone so much with the gangsters want you to tell you where the treasure is, And I do wish, like, with this concept, sharks in Venice, the streets in Venice are water, sharks could be anywhere, and they play with that a little bit, but I do wish that instead of what we got, it was more an asylum style, sharks everywhere killing everybody. If the asylum did it, it would be much more like the first Sharknado, and I think it could be a lot more fun if instead of the treasure chest or a hidden treasure room, you just focused on the sharks wreaking havoc in Venice. Make it a disaster movie instead. But for what it is, running around the streets of Venice, a bit of action and gunfire and some actually crazy fight scenes, it's fine. After that, we get Malibu Shark Attack. Malibu Shark Attack, there's a tsunami that leaves some lifeguards stranded in their half-flooded tower, but the tsunami also opened a crack in the earth, and goblin sharks come out. And boy, these guys look weird. They're supposed to be extinct. Big noses, recessed Joker smiles with sharp shark teeth. Cool stuff. And there's a lot to like in here. Lifeguards are cool main characters, half-flooded sets, goblin sharks. There's a lot to like, but this movie just never had its kick to get going, I wish it was just a little better and just needed some sort of little tiny push, and I feel like this movie would have been a lot better. As it stands, it's okay, and I do wish it just had some little bit of flair behind it. It's fine, though. But all that being said, the characters, and one of the big problems with this movie, is a lot of it is relationship drama. One couple's engaged, there's two characters that are, she's just flirting with him for no reason, and then a large chunk of the movie, you have a main girl with a love triangle, her ex-boyfriend and her current boyfriend, and the love triangle really isn't well developed and doesn't really go anywhere. So yeah, this is a movie with good startup elements, just doesn't have that kick to finish it off. And then after that we have Sharkman. Sharkman with Jeffrey Combs, who you may know from Reanimator. And if you haven't seen Reanimator, go watch Reanimator. But anyway, Jeffrey Combs is fun in this movie. He gets to play another mad scientist. That's always a pro. But that's the best thing in here. In Sharkman, you get this scientist who brought his dead son back to life using shark DNA and has inadvertently turned him into Sharkman. He sends part of his research over to his former colleagues and tries to kill them with Sharkman. However, they get out and they kind of run around the island most dangerous game style. But a big flaw here, it's a monster mating movie. They don't show anything too explicit, but the mad scientist here wants to create a superior human race of shark people and wants Sharkman to mate, but he's having a little bit of problems with that. But your main girl of the victims that get lured in was his former fiance back when he was human, and they're going to try to get Sharkman to mate with her, and this is an incredibly awkward subplot that really should have just been left out. On top of that, with Sharkman, horrible choppy editing. They don't really have faith in action choreography or in their creature design, and in turn, Sharkman is choppy and shaky, and in large parts, almost unwatchable. So yeah, Sharkman, I loved the concept of having a half shark, half man. That's a cool creature. I wish we got to see him more, but again, chop on the editing. And Jeffrey Combs is cool as well. But outside of that, it's just, got some fatal flaws that really kill what could have been a really good movie. So anyway, I may have ranted a little bit on some of those movies, but I do want to stress that none of the movies are terrible, and when you get a lot of these multi-packs, a lot of the times you'll find weird old movies that had cheap licensing and they just grabbed up whatever they could, and a lot of times in multi-packs you find really terrible films. On this one, all the films are okay. Shark Attack, obviously the best. That's what you buy the pack for, and you get its sequels. The other movies are all okay. Not the best thing ever, but like I said, if you think these are the worst shark movies ever, let me tell you, there are a lot worse. So they're all okay, not terribly great except for the original Shark Attack, but they're all a bunch of fine shark movies, and if you want a bunch of shark movies, 8 shark movies in one place, and like I said, I found it for $1. So I think this is before Dollar Tree went up to $1.25, so yeah, I got these all for $1, which is really great. So this is a great place to get a bunch of these shark movies all at once. You don't have to pay for each individual release, and it takes up a lot less space on your shelf. A fine way to get a bunch of B shark movies. Not the best thing ever, but overall, I had fun with this pack, and I did watch every single movie on here, which is, of course, saying something. Anyway, to everyone who's watched so far, thank you for watching. To everyone who's liked and subscribed, thank you. You really are helping the channel out. I'll leave a relevant playlist on the bottom. This should be my Meg-A-Shark collection playlist. If you want to see me talk individual full-length reviews for every movie on this pack, you can click right here and see all of those. Anyway, have a good day. I'll see you guys again very, very soon. Meg-A-Shark playlist on the bottom. Have a good day now.